All right, you want to just start with season two, episode one, Alligator
No,
Man?
no, wait, no, 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 not yet, not yet.
Not yet, not yet. My
We
bad,
gotta
my
do
bad.
context. There's context.
Oh yeah, facts. How ending season one? How did season one end?
Well, mainly, here's one thing. I want to see when season one came out because I want to keep in track. Oh, I just turned the bright.
Oh, season one came out in 2016. The first episode was September 6th, 2016.
And this here says first episode of season two is 2018, March 28th.
Yep.
2 year jump. Still kind of long. Every jump
Well,
was long.
a few little under 2 years because it was at the end of 2016, so about a year and some change. But yeah, I get what you, yeah.
But then after that, well, that's why they shot season three and four back to back, basically, so that they could
Yeah,
come out. But then it's 2 in 1 year. I wish they kind of saved it, but whatever,
yeah.
whatever.
I can see that.
Also, this is the only season with a subtitle, Robbin season.
Oh yeah, yeah, yep. In the
Yeah,
first
so
episode,
yeah, it
yeah.
opened up with Atlanta Robbin season, and I was
Mhm.
like, and they didn't really stick to that. I don't know
They
why.
kind of did a little bit because with all the it's like not really, but it's like when Ern went to the mall at the card with the card thing, and then also Al got literally when the plug he when you trying to re up he got robbed
Well,
and
yeah, well, yeah, I'm saying like this whole season leads
uh-huh.
into that, but like every season after that doesn't have a subtitle.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like season three isn't called Europe season or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I get you. But yeah, that was interesting. I did notice that too. That was interesting. Oh yeah, that's yeah. Season two, the way season two came, because you remember like season two opened, it was like two kids, and it was just dude just went to his friend's place and they was playing video games. I thought they were just talking about getting food. Like
Oh
I
my
thought they
goodness.
were talking about getting food and stuff. They pull up to this restaurant, order something. It's hidden innuendo for getting a little eighth of weed. And then I was like, okay, they're just gonna get a little weed and some food, and then you'll go to work.
So
Nope.
all right, I loved how all that broke down
Yeah, me
because
too.
like you can watch the entire scene up until everything blows up pretty much.
Yeah.
You can watch that entire scene now three different ways. Like,
Yeah.
just like guy looking for weed and they go get it. And then basically because they both go and they both participate in this whole robbery thing. So
Yep.
it's like this guy's just like talking to his friend, being like, "Man, I've been trying to buy an eighth," and then he's like, "Hey, we could go get an eighth from this place," and they both are just like, "We're gonna go rob that place
Yeah,
now."
and they said it without actually saying it because when I was
Hmm.
like, wait, they didn't even like to me that I didn't pick up on them saying, yeah, we finna go. If they say finesse, then I'd be like, okay, maybe. But they didn't say. I thought they were just gonna go buy it, and turns out they get to the window. They masked up, and then like, oh, okay.
And
That's
also the entire scene is like the literally the beginning of the Dark Knight, like the
yeah,
whole robbery, and they're like
yeah.
going in and shooting, and like it's like an literal actual action sequence.
Hey,
And
that's literally like if Breaking Bad and what was the chicken place?
oh
The
yeah,
little
and Los Pollos Hermanos.
yeah, similar, but no one the oh well he didn't Gus didn't really have a gun, but yeah, when the manager had the AK-47, I was like,
And
hey,
that
this is literally just TV gold. Then after they tried to drive off, I don't know how they didn't get hit with bullets, but the lady in the back seat somehow ended up in their car and they stopped for a long minute and got out, and it was just
that part was sad. It was sad and scary and also
yeah.
funny. It was like
I was like, wait, did somebody die or somebody get shot? You
I
couldn't
think
see. I
either
think the
the
lady
person
might
next to
have.
her died or she herself got grazed, is what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
And like, how did they not know she was in the car? Like that, like you have to. You're driving the car. You're driving from your apartment to a fast food. How do you not see that? Maybe she. I
Literally.
don't know. I don't know. It was just funny. I was like, yeah, this is some tea. This is just greatness right here, man. I can't get enough of complimenting Gambino on this, and especially with season two, he starts to get. Season one, he started to get a little bit off the rails with the when Al went on the show.
Hmm.
But yeah, season two, I was just like, yeah, it's just I could keep watching this forever, forever, for real, for real.
But even then, and we'll get to it a little bit later, but even then, this season has a pivot point also with
Mhm.
Teddy Perkins. But we'll get to that in a little
Yeah,
bit. We'll get to that in a little bit.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so yeah, first of all, let's get to
Alligator.
the alligator and the alligator in the room.
Yep.
Uh, Cat Williams is in this
Yep.
episode, which is funny. He won
Yeah.
an Emmy for this.
Oh wow, he did.
Yeah, I think so. For like best guest or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that makes sense because that was yeah, that was a great episode. I don't know why I always thought this was the season two was like the first episode from season one, but it makes more sense how it's season two and Al asked him to handle that. But yeah, that was a. What was your overall thoughts on that episode?
Uh, I like it. I kind of love. I have a love-hate relationship with how they sort of sprinkle in the past of Alan Earn's family and their whole family thing. Like,
Yeah,
I kind of like. I like it mainly because by the time you do get to like the end of the show, like season four, you've met all their family
yeah,
throughout the entire show, and it all sort of is like whatever. But at this point, I'm still kind of like, what the heck is going on with their family? Because they always allude to them, uh,
yeah.
but we never really, get
They
the
never really
whole.
tell us exactly what because Ern even said it in the episode like he's still mad at Cat Williams about what happened with his mom because that's his uncle. So that brother, that's his mom is his uncle's, yeah, brother and sister. So yeah, I was like, yeah,
Mhm.
what did he do? But and, family stuff,
Yeah,
old people, and yeah, you being a kid, you're not gonna pick up on a lot of the family drama until you get older, and yeah. But
yeah,
also, I was like season two because if you remember, season one ended, I believe, with Ern going to the he was sleeping in the was he sleeping in the storage locker at the
yeah. He
end?
went to. Yeah,
Yeah, yep, yep,
he turned Van down. Uh,
yeah, about staying with her.
and he went to. Yeah, he went straight to the storage locker. Yeah.
Yep, because season two opens with the dude taking some of his stuff because he knew he was sleeping in the storage locker, and then yeah, and then season two ended because remember at the season two was very it was very crazy because at the beginning of episode of season two, Al and what's Lakeith Stanfield, what's his character's name? Derek.
Darius.
They
Yeah.
was they was kind of getting into it at the beginning, or they was some had some kind
Oh
of issue.
yeah, and they wouldn't talk about it for
Yeah,
whatever.
and Aaron was just like, I love you both, and then they just started laughing, and then it was then because Darius had to take Aaron to the PO office to for whatever because I guess for whatever happened because he got caught with some weed on him and he was on probation or whatever, and so
Hmm.
then yeah, then it was just playing the rock music. It was just a very funny way to bring in season two, and
And
what
also,
else?
I think it's kind of interesting. It's like uh like they're roommates, Darius and
Yeah,
Paperboy. So like they have to like it's just funny. It's always funny. They're sort of just highlighting the feeling of your friends are in a fight, but neither of them
yep.
are going to tell you, and
Yeah,
so
and
you just have to
you're
be in.
just that awkward third person. You're just like, you're just trying to play moderator. You're just like,
And every time you try to get just a little bit of information, you're just like stonewalled. It's like, oh,
yep.
well,
They're just like,
dang.
we're not gonna talk about it. And then, is it what happened? Because then, oh yeah, because after that, after he visits the PO box, PO lady, I said PO box, the PO lady, that's when Al calls him and asks him to go check on his go check on his uncle. Oh,
So
was
yeah.
he Al's dad? Because
Oh,
that's Ern's uncle.
wait. I don't know. Is it?
Because Al and Ern are cousins. And
Yeah.
Al's mom is that's how Al's mom is the Cat Williams' brother. And that hey, you never know. They never said who Paperboy's dad was. They just said in the season one that his mom died at the funeral and Ern hasn't seen him since the funeral from his
Mm,
mom. So you never that could be his dad.
it
You
could
never
be.
know.
You're right. It could be. And
And
also, like, why was? Oh, and Al didn't go over there because he himself was on probation.
yeah, he was on house arrest. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
house arrest. Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, it could be. Uh, let's see here. There's two other things about the Cat Williams part that I real like, and it's a part that would just go by my head. Like, Cat Williams is the one that gives Ern that golden gun.
Yeah. Yep. He was like, yeah, and there's police everywhere. And he had Ern to take it because he knew the cops was gonna come in and search the house. And I don't think even if they came to search that, they probably would have found it, but they might have because they just tore the house upside down. And the whole alligator itself was pretty funny to me. I was like, oh wow, yeah. When he found out he actually had an alligator, I was like, wow, yep. And then when the alligator came out, but it didn't really do anything at all. It was just a distraction. So Cat Williams, that famous scene of just him running away because he got that famous speed. He always whenever
That
he gets
run. Yeah.
yeah.
It literally is almost like the reverse shot of Friday After Next.
Yeah. Oh
Literally.
yeah. Yeah.
Literally. Even like, yeah.
Yeah.
But uh it's funny. I love how the cops Everybody is so scared of the alligator.
Yeah, and it was like, hey, that's the alligator man. You really got an alligator in there? Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh,
Is he friendly? Like, are you friends with it? Is he good with you? No.
no. Who's friends with the alligator? Oh, you remember when Cat Williams was like, I ain't gotta do nothing because I ain't never done nothing. Then he just closed the door, and then Ern was like, I'm sorry, that's my uncle. He's got PTSD or whatever. He's a little off the rail. It was just the whole sequence of how it all happened was funny, and it was all because what's the name? His friend who's at the house, he stole some money from him. He thought, and then so she locked him in his room or whatever. And yeah, it was just crazy episode. What great way to bring in season two.
I also think it is interesting how often we're seeing Ern having to be the guy to kind of soothe the situation, try
Yeah,
to, make both parties just not hurt
yeah,
each other.
yeah.
And
He's
that's
just he's
always,
just he's just trying to be the best manager he can and best friend and yeah, all that.
but, and it's also something that Ern has a issue with. Even though he is in that position, he is also the one who is always, quote unquote, stunted on. Because
Yep, and
he
that's
doesn't
oh
have that
yeah.
aggressive power, I guess,
Yeah,
that
he's more of
wants.
the chill guy. He's not
Uh,
the he's not the alpha male as you so they say nowadays. He's not the one to just be the dominant and insert himself. He's more like to fall in the background but still try to do the right thing and whatever.
Yeah. The second episode, Sport and Wave. Oh yeah, F and Tracy. This is
Oh yeah,
basically
because I also remember at the end of episode one is when
that's when we first meet Tracy.
yeah he was going to ask to stay. I'm pretty sure he was going to ask to stay at Al's crib, but then he see
Mm,
Tracy was staying there, so he was like, yeah, I'm gonna just go and leave, and it was just a whole awkward goodbye, and it was just like, damn, he left. I was like, bye, all right, but yeah, episode two is very funny. Cause yeah, Trace. That's when Ern got the money. Well, first, that's when Paperboy went to that label meeting. I don't think it was label. It was some kind of to help him promote his music and stuff. He went. He was supposed to perform, but didn't really perform. And he was trying to play him new music, but there was also a few other artists there, and that's when you meet the other guy who's a little bit more successful. Who has the white manager. There's a little bit more stuff about the music industry and like how that goes and stuff. And then you get to then you get to the sporting waves, and then when they go to the mall and all that funny.
oh yeah. All right, hold on. I'm trying to stink and read this effing thing.
Yeah,
This the little synopsis on this Wikipedia basically cuts out that whole part you're talking about, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
wow. And, the little description on Hulu says for season two, episode two, it says, "Trapping ain't easy, you dig." Shout out to all my credit card scammers in the clubs.
I love all the little descriptions. I took the time to
Yeah,
read those back when they
I
came
usually
out.
I usually don't because they usually I don't want to give any spoilers on what the episode is. So yeah, now I'm gonna start doing it.
Yeah, well, yeah, because those are like I love when because half the time they know nobody's gonna read them,
Yeah,
so sometimes I'll have fun with it and be like, and they literally don't say anything about the episode. They just are like, they basically are commenting on something that happened in the episode
yeah,
without really
saying
saying it.
yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
Tracy
Oh,
was funny. What you finna
I
say?
I hate Tracy.
Oh, you
I know.
do?
I think it's
Yeah.
because I've known Tracy's in my life.
Yeah, I think everybody has just the hustler. Literally, he's one. He's just, he. I ain't gonna say scammer, but a hustler. And it was just
Yeah.
funny because that's when Ern got that money from the dog sit and stuff. He like a come up of like 4,000, and pretty much he didn't even get to spend it all.
But it's his own fault. I wouldn't put.
Yeah,
Why would
I
you
would
put
like. Yeah, I'm
all of
not giving
it?
you all the money. I'd have gave you a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I need some.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
I'm
maybe
saying like,
500 bucks of that
yeah,
entire
facts.
like however thousands.
But I don't even need to get all that stuff from them all. I need stuff to pay bills and for my kid.
Literally, he could
Yeah,
have
he
sent
gave him
like
all
half
the
of it
money.
to Van and still had a good chunk for himself.
Yep, yep,
Man, and I also think it is telling how little we see Ern and Van together in this
yeah. They
entire
have a
season.
whole because they're not together, but they have a kid, and that's a lot of people in today. I ain't gonna say a lot of people, but quite a few bit of people in today's the young adults that have not necessarily married to the person they have a kid with, and yeah, that's the whole thing. I'm glad I don't have any kids or none of that. So yeah,
But that's the thing about like Ern's trying to like he's still trying to ask Al instead of asking Van when Van still probably would have taken him in. 'Cause
yeah,
I think she still wants to be with.
yeah.
I think it's a funny.
Van
Yeah.
wants to be together with Earn, but Earn just wants to keep living life and
It sucks because I'm like, man, you could do so much better.
yeah, Van was very beautiful. Oh, you know
Gee,
another funny part on episode 2, the Sporting Waves
mm,
was there's at the shoe store.
yeah. So,
And Tracy,
the customer
Tracy
service.
was like, he was getting shoes for the interview and everything, and Tracy was like, this show got a no chase policy. So he literally they was just talking about how he can help for his interview and everything. It was like that. These stores got a no chase policy, so we just took a couple boxes of shoes and looked at the dude and the employee. It was just so funny because the employee was like, "Sir, can I get you a bigger size or anything?" And then as he was walking out, the employee was just he looked at the employee. He was like, "No, I'm not finna. You're not finna get these shoes back. You can't help me. I got what you came here for." It was just funny.
I
And
did.
they're like, "Oh wow," because he taught him I'm from the studies, and he was like, he didn't believe him. Then he was like, "Oh, he really was about yep." And that shit was funny.
Have
And
you
then
ever stolen anything?
I don't think Ern stole anything. He
No,
just
I'm asking you, Chico.
oh yeah, yep.
I've still, I've,
Camp is Fred, college days at SAU, man. Broke college student. You go into Walmart with a backpack and hey, yeah,
dude, oh, I was gonna say you people, but I don't mean you people. I mean
yeah.
you and Copeland. Like Copeland would steal all the time.
Hey man, hey man.
And I
At
would
first
be
it
like,
was
what
good
the
until it
heck?
wasn't good. It was good until we got caught. Nah, yeah. That's just less. That was ever since then. I'm like, no more stealing from me.
Man, I like the first time I ever stolen something was a complete accident. And
Yeah,
I
that
was
didn't
like,
happen. Oh
nothing
shit.
happened? I was, like I was a kid, I put like a ring pop in my pocket.
Man, let me tell you, there's one person who went to they got some kind of electronics and they didn't buy it in the back of the store. They just went to the front of it and instead of ringing up the electronics, they got a little cheap little plastic like a Halloween bucket and they put whatever they got in that bucket and they just scanned the little plastic bucket and they got like some headphones and some other little small electronic shit and they just paid for the little plastic bucket. I was like, wow.
That's
Hell yeah. I can't even knock the hustle. I'm like, hey, you do you.
clever.
Yeah. I'm the
God.
only know because I was there with them. Think I gave them the ride or I just rolled with them. But I was like, hell yeah. Because usually how I did it, I was like, man, we just because they didn't ever really say anything. People with backpacks like I know people. I ain't gonna say no names, but people on the track team, regular people, because we all just broke college students and we just trying to survive.
I'm not judging. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
I'm just saying. I
I
don't.
wish I did it.
Yeah,
I couldn't
facts. 'Cause I
do
was like, shit,
it.
that's how we got like the snacks and hair care products and everything. I was like, yeah, because they didn't check your bags. Because they knew I don't know if it was like store policy for them not to check your bags, but yeah,
I
bro,
can't comment.
he was finessing us. People like we going to Walmart. If you see somebody with a backpack and they go into Walmart or a backpack or a big ass bag, especially if it's a dude, you just know, yeah, finessing.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to cut out some of that. But I just wanted to ask because
That's to,
when you work for any sort of, I'm not saying anymore. I'm not saying anymore.
yeah.
Okay. Uh, let's see. His waves were cool though. Tracy's waves.
Oh, yeah, at the end of the episode, those were like you could tell it's like because he was like all throughout the episode, he was like, "Yeah, these waves is cooking," and then when he took, I was not expecting that at the interview, and then we didn't get the job. I didn't like how the interviewer was like, "At this time, we're not looking for people," but I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of not
Hmm.
looking to hire people. Why are you doing interviews?" I was like, "Yeah, he just didn't like him, probably because he didn't trust them."
Yeah, but well,
Which is just funny
wasn't
and
his
fucked up at the
interview in the mall?
Say what?
Wasn't his interview in the mall?
Nah, because you remember after Gambino, Earn, I keep calling him Gambino. He was like where he was looking for where dude was after he had the 10
Oh
to
yeah.
that shopping spree. He was like he had the interview, so Earn had to just catch the bus back to Al's place, and yeah,
Oh God.
I
Oh
was,
my.
yeah, that's how I'm finna kill him. And it was like yeah, that shit was funny. That shit was
Oh.
funny.
That. Oh. Let's let's go to the next episode.
Yeah, I think episode 3,
Oh.
Moneybag Shorty. I think that's if that's when the Karen has an Instagram video about how one of Paperboy's very viral songs, which that was so funny. I was
Yeah.
not expecting her to say niggas with it when she did. I was like, this is just even makes it even more funnier. And then like her facial expression while I was singing those lyrics. I was like, what is, and she had her kid who was still behind her. I was like, what is she hoping to accomplish? This is all rap music, but it was just a funny way to like a funny little way to bring in the episode.
Yeah. And also in this episode they're trying to go out. Oh yeah, so she does
Yeah.
that on TikTok or whatever. It
Yep.
goes viral and all it does is give him better
Yeah.
publicity.
Yeah, he went and that makes his song go gold even quicker.
And they go and they just go out for the night. And this is when they go try to go to the strip club and all that stuff and keep
Yeah.
getting stunted on.
And this remember before the strip club, they went to a movie theater. Where Ern tried to pay with $100 bill, but they was
Uh-huh.
like, we have to get your license and ID just because hundreds are fake. I'm like, damn. But I felt like that was a little bit because the same. It was a white dude that did the exact same thing, and Aaron was like, hey, and then the white dude just slowly was like, I was just like, yeah, I was like
I've
that's some
had that
whole ass
before.
stuff right there. So that's it. You say you've seen it before?
I've had that before where I've tried to pay for something with $100 bill and for just no reason other than
Yeah,
no.
you know why the reason.
Mm.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
man, I always stuff like that I do always hate because it's like this it's if it is like if you did if it yeah
yeah.
exactly
It's just
if it
like,
was
man,
anyone else
yeah, exactly. And then it happens, and then when it's worse when you're, because remember after that they went to the hookah place, and it was the African dude was like, bro, you pay with a fake $100 bill, and everybody knew it was a real $100 bill, but he was just trying to finesse some more money out of him. I was like, bro, if it was me, I was like, bro, I'm not finna pay nothing. Like, give me my money back. I was like, see, this is a problem, man. You know, us is like, black people sometimes can't get along. It's crazy, but that's just how it is. Cause like race and everything, it's like a whole bunch of that's another reason I love this show so much because a whole bunch of political commentary happens without necessarily being directly with the political commentary. That
hmm
just makes it even more funny to me.
and
What's your
like a lot of people when white people talk about like oh like talking about things that aren't there it's just because like literally just watching Earn trying to do anything and all the
yeah,
stops that like from him like the idea and I agree with this fact also it's like he's trying to give people his money. He's literally trying to just take
yeah.
his money and give it to people and they won't accept it.
Yeah, I'm just like, bro, how are you? And they just think it's fake money. And I'm just like, bro, you see a hundred, you have the little pin. And I was like,
hmm
bro, and I was like, you doing too much of the movie thing. I'm like, bro, you better take this cash. I know y'all need cash flow to go through here. You see, you do the little pin thing because I'm like, yeah,
and that's almost like a thing of like it's almost like well only let
institutional
certain people in
racism.
this movie theater. Yeah.
Yeah, institutional racism. I was like, and then the dude, I was like, bro, are you serious? I like sometimes watch it. I'm like, I wish something like this would happen to me just to see. I don't know how I would react. I have an idea of how I would react, but I don't know exactly. That's how I'd just be like, really, nigga? I'd be like, really? And I'd be like, man, fuck this place. How Tracy was at the end of the interview. Oh, racist as hell. That shit was funny.
Yeah, it was. I mean, uh, I
Oh,
do like Tracy a little bit,
yeah, he
but
had some funny
also
moments.
I like Tracy in the fact that of like he just is. Like he's like
Yeah,
a force of nature. He's not
yeah.
like I don't think he's doing much mean like he's not being malicious and
Yeah,
having
he's
he
just being
does.
himself. And the only thing, I feel like the reason why you said, because towards later in the episode when we're gonna get to it, but yeah, I was like, Ern, what are you
But
doing?
I agree, I do. And this time around, I was like, Ern, you don't have to do
Yeah,
this.
you don't have. He was like, bro, you don't want this. He kept rounding the warning, but Ern was trying to prove himself, and Ern really. We're gonna get to that
We'll
episode,
get
but
to
yeah,
that.
okay.
But all right,
Any-
so another thing. So this guy, uh, oh, Clark County, the rapper, uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that guy who's like hating on his engineer that he was basically
Oh,
trying to get him killed or beat
yeah.
up.
The engineer kept fucking up. And remember at the beginning of that whole interaction, the engineer was kind of like popping off. He was like, "Yeah, we making some good shit." Like the engineer looked back at it. I was like, "Yeah, I'll be doing this." And then the engineer kept fucking up.
Well, the thing kept crashing. I don't even think that's
Yeah,
his fault.
yeah. I
Uh,
don't think it's his fault, but it's like, dang, how? Yeah, they just kept getting mad and everything, and yeah, it was just that whole thing was funny.
And also with Clark County, he was like, hey, you're smoking and drinking. Heck yeah, I don't do any of
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
though.
I don't really do that. He was like, he trying to hit this bun, trying to hit, oh, he's like, I don't really do that. I was like, then it was like, got this Hennessy. I know you really like, hell, hey, I know you got that Hennessy. Hey. Like, no, I don't really drink either. And they was like, oh, okay. Yeah, because Al and Darius, they got that every episode they doing that. And yeah, that shit
And
was
that's
fun.
the thing, Al is always in this like mode of trying to stay authentic and trying to like
Yeah,
continue doing his whole thing. But he keeps meeting these rappers who are like they're
yeah.
not really doing the
Yeah,
things
it's
that he was doing in the
yeah.
streets before he became famous or
Yeah,
whatever.
he's just trying to be his authentic self, and later on in the season, yeah. Oh man, trust me, we're gonna get into all that. It's just so good.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, one more thing about we can move on from this Clark the Clark County episode, but one more thing about the end of that episode after the strip club, they run
Mhm.
into Michael Vick.
Yeah, and that's the whole. It makes it so Atlanta, bro. I was just like Aaron was just trying to stunt on some way, and he thought but Michael Vick is like famous Atlanta Falcons
And
quarterback. He's famous in the news for the dog fighting, which he didn't even really do. But yeah, that's another story for another day. But
he's fast as fuck.
yeah, it was just a great way to bring out the episode because then there was in the limo back home, and Van was just like, "That's Michael Vick."
I know it, but it's so
Because you remember right before, like when the race first started, they had like the Rocky little montage with the music, and then like
uh,
Ern taking
as
off.
if Ern was actually gonna
They're
do
going to win. I was like, yeah,
anything.
Ern, you're not gonna win, dude. He's like, yeah, he just did 6 races in 10 minutes. I can nah, bro. Michael Vick has he's easy. He can run a 40 yards in under 4 seconds. So nah, bro. Yeah. Yeah, he's
Uh,
got crazy speed. And I like how he did it because Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta. It's just like everything he does is just so authentically Atlanta, and that's where he's from. So I love it. Next episode we're picking up on is the Helen episode. Yep, yep.
okay, Helen. So this I think is co this had well, hold on, let me see. No. So I did want to point out this is directed by a white woman. I think
Yeah,
she might be German by I don't know. I can't check right now. Give me 2 seconds. That's
yeah. That's one thing I've started to notice more. Like some of those episodes, I'm starting to peep who's writing them and who's creating them. Because it's not always Gambino, but yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
so this one's from Florida. So she's
Mm.
she's not German.
Ah, okay.
But I do
But
think it's interesting that this is a white woman directing this episode of Atlanta. Like,
yeah,
I
white
don't,
people in Atlanta. She might have some German connection, but yeah, that whole episode. It started off, yeah, we're not gonna say it. It started off with them having sex or whatever, blah blah blah. But
yeah.
then it goes to
Oh
them.
yeah. Oh no, I do that. We can't. No, let's not. No, hold on. It is interesting. It is interesting because I also remember back in 2018. Oh, let me fix my mic. Let me move that over.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Uh, but back in 2018, uh, do you remember this thing with DJ Khaled?
Yeah, he was. That's when he was getting so famous and we the best. He got all the shoes and everything was DJ Khaled, and he's not
But
even
yeah,
an artist. He doesn't even. Yeah, yeah, I remember though.
but you remember when he was like, "Oh, I would never go down on a woman." Yeah,
Oh
you remember that?
yeah, us, which is crazy.
And I don't know if this is a response to that, but there was like especially during that time, there's also this thing about like something in the Batman comic. People were like, "Does Batman go down on people?" Oh no, it was like for Harley Quinn. It was Harley Quinn. They took out a joke of Batman eating out Catwoman. Oh, I can't believe I just said those words. Oh my God. But basically, it was a whole thing in the nerd world. People were like, "What the heck?" They were like, "But the horns are perfect, like grapples or whatever." I do think it is important the depiction on in media of showing like men pleasing women, blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah, it's nothing
And we
wrong.
don't
Nothing wrong with pleasing women. That's
and we
really
don't
yeah,
see it often. Also, especially like I don't know if we've seen like a black couple do this on screen as often like
yeah,
this, like
yeah.
with the guy going and doing the thing.
Yeah, that's how they that's how they coming in with they bring an episode like that. I'm like, oh, okay.
Hmm
Brace yourselves. And then
But
they're heading. What are you finna say?
in this so right now in this moment they're in a good spot basically.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
just got done getting it on. They're smoking marijuana as they're going to go
To
to this
some event. Yeah.
fast notch
Yep.
celebration. I'm clicking. Let
Yeah.
me see what this.
Some German celebration.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, so I guess this is real. A lot of it. Oh, I guess
yeah.
it is real. Wow. I'm looking
Yeah.
at some of these weird pictures.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, maybe Van has some German in her because you know a lot of black people. There are a lot of black people who are American, but they also identify like national. They might have been born in Germany, raised in Germany.
Yeah,
So
so Zazie Beetz is half German. She was born in Germany.
yeah, yep, yep,
Uh, Let me see. I think it's her father who's the white German man, Thomas Beetz. I think
yeah.
that's his. I think his name is that's his name's Beetz.
Wow. Yeah,
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 it's crazy.
yeah.
Uh, he was a cabinet maker, of course. Yeah, it sounds so German. It all sounds so German.
Yeah, some
Uh,
political part, yeah, party and
and
stuff. Other
real
parties.
quick, her mother is African American social worker from New York. How the heck did
Mm.
they meet?
I mean, work could have brought. She could have been in. Her mom could have went to Germany for a vacation, or could have moved there. Who
Yeah,
knows?
man, that's interesting. Uh,
Could have brought her there. Yeah,
but yeah, and I do think it is interesting. Like, well, Germans are historically racist.
yeah.
Well, especially
But nowadays they're like they've
they're
hit
very
a complete.
apologetic.
Yeah, they've hit a complete 180 since their whole Nazi days and all Nazi Germany and all that. They did a. It's a very nice country nowadays. Very
They try,
nice.
and I think they're trying to lead by example of
Yeah.
when your country did something horrible.
Yeah, they learned from their mistakes. America could take a page from Germany, really, for
Yes,
being
we could take a couple, uh,
couple, yeah.
and
A
we should
whole,
take them now instead
yeah.
of
It's not
the
gonna
other
happen.
stuff and doing all that and then waiting and find out how that is.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
good old America. Gotta love it.
but it is interesting, and I think this is technically the first time we sort of deal with uh the mix of like European and
Yeah.
blackness stuff.
And a
Uh,
little bit of blackface in there.
yeah, exactly, and like really, this kind of like uh is almost like a tease of what's to come in season three.
Man, oh man, I was so
Yes, I'm
so
excited.
excited for season three to get the
I think season three
reaction.
is the point of this entire thing,
Yeah,
probably.
maybe, yeah, because it was a whole man. But yeah, that's because also you know remember with after they got when they was first walking through, you see the old ladies in the shopping window staring at them because they're black. They're like, ah. And then it was the because it's also a great because it was Van her friend, Van's friend had the white boyfriend and she's black and Van is black but German and has a black boyfriend, so there's the whole
Hmm.
context of that. And there's all the funniest part of that episode is in that random person came up to her and she thought he was in blackface.
She was
What
like, "Oh
a
wow, you look great."
I'm so sorry. I was like, oh, that was at me like, oh,
But that is the thing. Like, I mean, I think that's what's even more interesting is like, it is a different kind of racism. Like it's it's
it's
so like like when it comes to especially these people, like Germanish people, even though I
yeah.
think these are just German Americans for the most part. Uh,
Mhm.
but like just the idea of like those countries, like yeah, they might have some black people, but probably very few. And so like
Yeah,
they don't
compared
really
to the white German population, yeah, it's few.
yeah, and so it's like when you think of like uh how they deal with race things, even like
Yeah,
even their
yeah,
some of
because
their offensive things are supposed to be seen as celebratory.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was just gonna say. In other countries, blackface is like is a good thing, but in America, blackface is like a bad thing. It's like actually to meant to depict racism and be racist with the black stereotypes. But in Germany, it's like more of a I wouldn't say pay homage to black people, but it's just like it's not meant for in their perspective. There's not them being racist about black people. It's like they
So
want
like
to, I think they want to be black, but it's like I don't know, not say saluting is a bad way, but it's like it's a two
they're
different,
trying to show
yeah,
they're with it by
yeah,
depicting the culture.
yeah.
Uh and so like a good example of this is like in Japan or whatever. Like we in America, we cringe when we see like white people wearing like kimonos and acting
Oh
very
yeah,
Japanese. But when they go over there and they do that stuff, they
yeah,
are it's appreciated because it's like, oh,
yeah,
you're trying to
yeah.
learn.
Exactly. You're in a foreign land. You gotta stick to the customs of that foreign land. You don't want to just be that dumb American because I'd be like, man, if I was to see that, if I was to meet being also visit, but you seeing someone else who's visiting a foreign country, and you're not respecting their customs and cultures, I'm like, yeah, you're a fucking American. This is just, yeah, this is why y'all should just stay in your, yeah,
It also
yeah.
reminds me of Rush Hour. You remember Rush
Uh-huh.
Hour?
Yeah.
And just sort of like all the awkward situations Jackie Chan would get in just because he didn't know. Like
Yeah.
he even said like the N-word and stuff.
Yeah, two different worlds, man. It's crazy how the big old earth is customs and courtesies in one part of the world, customs and courtesies in another part of the world, and sometimes they have a styles clash, and yeah,
It isn't it's just so it's interesting. It's just interesting.
very
Uh
interesting.
okay, also so I want all right, let me read this further. Let me click this. I want to get into those ping pong sessions.
Yeah,
Let's see. Move the crown earns. Oh, okay. So at first, their first ping pong thing, basically, Earn is like kind of bored, doesn't know what
yeah,
to do
he
with this
wasn't really
place.
feeling it everything, especially after the blackface thing, and yeah,
Yeah, and then they, and then he does actually decide to take a mask just so
yep, just
he
to
won't be
yeah.
mistaken. Oh, I got a flash flood warning. We'll
Oh
see.
yeah, yeah.
We'll see.
I show this the whole tornado or whatever it's parts of Texarkana and stuff was
It's been
flooded.
going crazy over
Yeah,
here. Crazy.
slight
Uh,
rain over here, but nothing crazy. But yeah.
last night was stressful. Stressful. It was like
Mm.
tornado, flood, warning,
Yeah.
watch. Uh,
Shit.
okay, okay. Let's see.
Because because of the first ping pong match, I believe, or what you finna read? You finna read
Okay,
something?
okay. Uh, the Hoots Coots.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah, when
want
Ern.
with those weird balls, and he's like,
Yeah.
and he just throws them in.
Yeah, and it was like, how did you do that? And I think Van kind of got a little jealous because she wasn't used to Ern. She wasn't expecting Ern to win or be so good,
Well, let
even
me
though
ask you.
it's a simple
I want to
game.
ask you this.
Yeah.
I wonder. I still don't know how I want to see it. Were they actually being like, "Whoa, you did a cool
I,
move we didn't think
I
of"?
think they was because
I think
usually
so.
I think so too. I think there was like genuine awe because they're like they never thought to do something like that. But I was just like, yeah, it was just they cause they way they played it, it was just you have to keep throwing it in a circle till you knock it into the cup. But Ern was just like, yeah, he Ern didn't really get it. He was just kind of like confused and annoyed in that way. But he was just like, I just I just put it to, like in all sports, put the like soccer trying to get score a goal, basketball trying to put the ball in the hoop, football
Hmm.
trying to score. So he just like I don't, yeah, just skipping all the. He was just like, I'm gonna just, yeah, because he didn't really get the rules of the game, and there was everybody was speaking German, and he doesn't speak German and
And
all that.
but I think he might be like, they're patronizing me.
Yeah, that's very because they was all like clapping, like, how did you do that? But I don't think they was patronizing because Van was like, she was getting kind of upset because she was expecting like dominating all the events and stuff because herself is German, so she knows how to play it. She can speak German. She had the whole German outfit when she came on, and she was dancing and with the German line dancing, and
I think
yeah,
she's just mad that like he wins that game, and they're
mhm.
all like everybody is trying. Like it's not like she brought him there and everybody is treating him weird. Like at the
Yeah,
Juneteenth thing. Uh,
yeah,
this time it's like she brought him there. She was kind of scared about it, and it was a little weird. But then like he sort of wins them over, but he's
yeah,
still just like not having it, and she's
yeah.
just like man, and then it gets to that point when Ern talks to that one guy. I don't know if this was before or after the ping pong. Uh, I think it was. I think whatever. But he talks to that one guy
Oh
who's
yeah, yep.
like, why is she trying to make me do all this stuff? I think it's so stupid. And he
Yeah,
was
and just
like,
like she just wants to spend time with you because she likes you.
mm-hmm,
It's Lisa, how that just goes into the having I think they have Van loses in front and they have the little walk and then they have that second ping pong match and it was just like Van was just like she's tired and she wanted to Earn to commit and Earn wasn't ready to commit and I just
mm-hmm.
Earn being a dumb young guy because that I related to that a little bit in my early young 20 days and yeah
But also
yeah
I think, and it's still part of like, I think Ern doesn't want to commit because he wants to have the resources first.
Yeah,
And
facts. He wants to like get more established as a manager and stuff. So yeah, I also get that.
but I think the problem is he's not like it would be so much easier for him to just cut her off for now, do
Yeah.
his thing, and then come back instead of
Yeah.
being wishy-washy, halfway in, halfway out the entire
Yeah,
time.
he's trying to grind and get to that next level of more money. Cause he's starting to get a little bit of money because you know from the flexing episode, there's a check he got. And it was like that's what made them want to go flex on folks. 'Cause he got a little bit of the check he got from being Paperboy's manager and stuff. So yeah.
Man.
Mm.
But
But
yeah,
then pretty much decided they're not gonna be together for now. And then at the end. It was like the whole after they left the thing, the whole awkward drive, silence drive home, and then Van gets home and she closes the door, and then Erin starts sleeping. She's watching them from the window, her in her room. I was just like, oh man, but yeah,
man. You seen Jerry Maguire.
oh yes, one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's basically like just like I feel like it's in Jerry Maguire where like the
Yeah,
woman's I
his
wanted you
life.
to tell me like I wanted you to want me to stay or something or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
yep.
Yeah, in
And
that
then
one
he got
scene.
married too soon, too fast. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, good movie, good movie.
man. Okay, barbershop.
Barbershop. Ah,
So this episode, this is probably one of my favorite episodes of the show, just because it's just like it's
yeah,
so relatable.
yeah, very relatable.
I don't
Very
even have a
relatable.
barber. I don't even go to barber shops. But like I know these people. I've been I or you're trying to do one thing and then you get dragged on somebody
Yeah.
else's effing thing
Yeah,
and
he's
that's
just
your
got a whole
day.
bunch of stuff. A barber who's a hustler got all these different side gigs going and everything,
Hmm.
and a barber who's who's very literal. Because yeah, it was just like he was running late and he had Paperboy had a whole thing with articles, so he was just trying to get a fresh cut. Then he's just being dragged all around town, and you know, and Paperboy's just trying his best not to get mad, and it was just a great episode. I like how also Atlanta does you know how they do the whole intro when they have like there's a song or whatever they have the title Atlanta, and that's for this episode. It was like all the different styles of haircuts and they have the subtle Atlanta. They also did up different episodes. I just like how they did that, but yeah, the barbershop it was just started madness. It just kept getting madness. It was just very funny, and he just wanted to get a haircut.
I just like Bibby the barber. He just doesn't
Yeah,
shut up. I don't
yeah,
think I honestly want. I wish I could see the script page because it's probably
yeah,
just Bibby, da, 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 da,
yeah,
and then every once and again Al might say a thing. Uh,
yeah.
he just talks so much, so fast, won't
Yeah,
shut
he gets off topic easily. Like when he first got in the chair, he was keep telling him he was trying to get he was in a rush and Bibi just kept getting off top. I was like, we all know barbers like that. Personally, I haven't had to deal with barbers like that much. Or maybe I did a little bit as a kid. I just don't remember. But a lot of nowadays, my barbers they're pretty pretty reliable for the most part, very reliable. So yeah, it was just I was like, man, because he had to. It was his girlfriend was calling him. He was like, yeah, I'm finna be on the way. Quite a few times, like yeah, and then he he got to the house. There was a kid waiting. I don't know, it was his girlfriend's kid or whatever. He had to cut the kid and also before he got down, it was a whole bunch. It was just a whole bunch of things happening all at once, which makes it so
He
good. And
didn't pay the light bill,
yeah, and
and he
then
robbed her.
yeah, yeah, like this motherfucker. And it was like and then what made it so it's like I don't know about you, but like just hearing the subtle jazz in the background music, it just made it that much more funny because it's like all this madness is happening and just we're just gonna mellow you out with just a subtle jazz playing. And it was just so funny because yeah, then because after he left the woman's house and didn't pay the light bill and the power went off, and then they was I think they was said it was.
They steal the wood and get to Zaxby's.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, "Hey man, I'm gonna feed you, feed you. You want some Zaxby's?" I was like, "Hell yeah, thank God." And then they pull up to this construction site. He gives him the leftover Zaxby's, and it's just like, it's just so funny. And then the woman,
Leftover Zaxby's.
yeah, and then the woman, yeah, the leftover Zaxby's, and the woman pulls up. He's just like, "Yeah, your husband cheap. He ain't pay his contractors," which I don't even know how true that is or the
I don't
context of
know.
that. It's just funny because it just shows how many different things he got. Because he's a barber. He was also, he was like pass out these cards for me kill the clear cable at your
Except
show.
for
And
the
also,
kids. Well,
um Wait, what?
Well, because there's this one part where he saw his kids
Oh
or
yeah,
his
yeah. That
son.
he was passing out signs. But also, you know how you remember you was referencing the Robbin season. Remember how
Mm.
he said all the Robbin that happened with all the phone store, and then he was also like, "Hey man, if you know some people with the T-Mobile looking for an iPhone, I got you." So I pretty much that was him alluding to the Robin season. He probably knew somebody
Hmm.
who robbed that store, and he was just trying to get the everybody hustling for because Robin season
Exactly.
and Christmas season is the same thing. So yeah, everybody trying to hustle.
Yeah, the like he's hustling and just juggling a thousand
Yeah,
things.
so much different. I'm like, yeah, it was so funny because then when he ran into his kid, and he was trying to have, because his perspective at the end of the episode, we're gonna get to that in a minute. But he was trying to, because when he ran into his kids who was skipping school, he's like, he had Al try to come inspire the youth, and so he as his way to put it and everything. It was just funny because
Oh,
then
so yeah, that's the thing. Because like at the end of the day, pretty much they're like Al's like, you ruined my entire day. You did this, this, this.
yeah,
But then
Big
Vivi's like, this was
I
a
fed you
great
some
day.
Zaxby's. I fed you some Zaxby's. You inspired the youth. We went hit that Asian lady from the. It was like,
That
bro, it's
part
all
was
about people's
episode.
perspective, man. This shit was funny. Cause then,
Man.
after he picked up his son, he kept he wouldn't keep his eyes on the road, and it just ended up end up rear-ending someone, and the woman was pretty much, I'm pretty sure she was just trying to fake the injury because just to get the cash and then Bibby was like, yeah, we got to go because Al had weed on him and he was on probation, and Bibby said he had warrants so he couldn't go to. It was just very funny. He was like, "Yeah, we got to get up out of here." And then the woman got out of the car, faking her injuries. I'm guessing because that scream she was letting, I was like, "Yeah."
It was extreme, but still they
Also,
should
yeah, I was
just
also with the
leave.
crazy yeah, because sometimes when your body's at rest and you get rear-ended and you not expecting it, it could lead to a lot of. I've seen people videos and stuff. People get really hurt that way, but I don't know what they was trying to do with that. It was just goes to show baby's just all over the place and everything. It was just funny.
And I also like the next time Al goes in there, he's
Yeah.
he's just like, I'm gonna go to somebody else, F
Yep.
Bibby. But then as soon as he sits there and the barber's like, so what do you
What style
want?
do you want? He said he didn't know how loaded he wanted it. He was just like, damn.
He
And
literally
as
was
soon as
having
he
like
looked
an
over at
existential
Bibby,
crisis right then and there.
yep. And
He's
then
like,
as soon as he
oh.
looked over at Bibby, Bibby had somebody else in the chair. I was just like, damn.
And
Yeah,
then he
it
hears the
was
buzz
funny.
and he hears the buzz of the Clippers and he's like, like what are you
Yep.
gonna
He's just like,
do?
damn, I don't know.
And I bet you the next time he goes back straight to Vivi.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
And it's
That
like,
was funny.
but also it's interesting, like it's literally like, when you do see the haircut Vivi does do, it is like
Yeah, it's a good haircut.
spectacular.
Yeah,
And,
very spectacular.
and he's literally like an artist in his own right with how he does the hair.
Yeah, barbers are some of the most powerful people in the world, especially in the black community. Even white people getting haircuts, because your barber fucks up your haircut, you just don't have the same confidence you do for the next, depending on how fast your hair grows, a few weeks,
Literally,
month
like
and a half.
probably like a month and a half
Yeah, like,
almost.
people you see bad haircuts, they throwing on the hats and everything here and there. They ain't trying to get people to see how messed up their hair is. So yeah, barbers are that's the responsibility they have. Very powerful people.
Yeah, and they prepare people for any sort of situation, pretty much.
But yeah, that was just that whole episode was very funny because Al was just Al being Al and just trying. Because I think this episode they have more individualized the characters in the show because Van. Well, later on in the show, Van has her own. Well, Van has a few. She had the Helen episode and then the Champagne Poppy, which she's just more of Van's personal life. But yeah, the Al's personal own
You're right.
episode.
Yeah, yeah, there is more singular perspective
Yeah,
episodes in this season than because the first season was more ensemble-y,
yeah,
and then this is a little bit more singular episodes. And
yeah,
season three does similar, and I think season
yeah,
four kind of brings it back to an ensemble a little
yeah.
bit more.
And that
Uh,
and that. What you finna say?
uh, Nothing. I don't know. What are you saying?
I was just gonna say that the singular episode that leads perfectly directly into the next episode, the Teddy Perkins episode.
Yes,
That
Teddy
is
Perkins.